All right, guys, you can probably guess where I am. I swear that my seats are better than this, but I wanted to do a quick live before the Giants game started, and this is actually the best view in the entire ballpark. A good one to tell you about how dominant the 49ers defensive linemen are looking and how good Christian McCaffrey is looking at practice. He made a double toe tap catch on the sideline today. I know it's going to be a little bit loud, so we got the mic right here, but he made a double toe tap catch that was his second best catch of the day. The first best one, that was during one-on-ones for Christian McCaffrey. He just beat Chaz Surratt and lunged for a football, spun the football after. He's back. Christian McCaffrey is ready to go for the 49ers. But, I mean, the story for San Francisco is their defensive linemen right now. I know Purdy was really good. I wrote about it on the San Francisco Standard. I know that when we look at somebody like Christian McCaffrey, when we look at the offense and we look at George Kittle, all those guys are performing at the level that the 49ers want them to perform at. It's all about staying healthy there. But it's the young guys. It's the new infusion of energy along the defensive line. That's what should make the 49ers the most excited about this early part of training camp. Because you've got, with somebody like somebody like Michael Williams, with somebody like CJ West, San Francisco has just raw physical power. And I think that we've seen that raw power turn into productivity on day one with pads, which I think is tremendously exciting for the 49ers. I'm going to make a little bit of a walk down since the section is starting to fill up. So bear with me here. Park is sick though, huh? I mean, this is my favorite view. You could see the Salesforce Tower, the skyline. I think they're going to build another one down there. All from, I think, 305 in the upper deck. We're going to move down. I think they've got a new young kid pitching tonight, too. I don't know if this guy can match the show that the 49ers rookies were able to put on today at training camp. Because it all started with the one-on-ones. And CJ West won all 5 of his one-on-ones today for the 49ers. And that included the one against Dominic Pooney, who we know is a really, really good player. So if you're surprising Dominic Pooney with your punch, and that's exactly what we saw from CJ West today, kind of destabilized Dominic Pooney. If you're able to do that at this level and had Dominic Pooney kind of like reeling backwards, I think you've got pretty strong hands. So that was something that immediately stood out with CJ West. He didn't lose a single one-on-one rep. It is the first time in covering 49ers that I have watched a rookie go through one-on-ones and not lose a single rep on his first day out there. That's the type of stuff that really good veterans typically do. But that's what we saw from CJ West today. Michael Williams didn't fare as well in the one-on-ones, but the one that he did decisively win came against the guard, which I think is significant for Michael because the 49ers want to use him inside. They want to use Michael Williams. I'm going to take a look back over here. It's really windy at that part of the stadium. Maybe I'll be a little bit more shielded here. Michael Williams, they're going to use him as their ardent key. We see Charles Amenahu has done that before, moving inside for the 49ers. They really, really want to use his length against shorter interior offensive linemen. And so there was a rep against Zach Johnson where Michael just turned length into power, and it was awesome for San Francisco in one-on-ones. Then they did a little bit of that during the actual practice. And there was some mixing and matching starting that I'm sure the 49ers will employ over the course of the regular season. The mixing and matching, though, involved Michael on the inside, standing up at one point, which I thought was really, really interesting. I know he played that joker position at Georgia where he was lined up basically at every single technique, but they brought him as a pass rusher standing up from the inside, getting a step on some of the guards working for the 49ers. And they brought some blitz packages too. Fred Warner behind some of the 49ers defensive linemen, stuff that I hadn't seen Robert Saleh bring before. I know that he's evolved as a defensive coordinator ever since his time first stint with the 49ers, but this was something else from Robert Saleh, especially on day one. I think it was a nice little preview of what the 49ers are going to bring, and I think they feel that they can bring it because of the unique skill sets that they have with these young defensive linemen. I mean, Saleh called CJ West a fire hydrant, but he's a fire hydrant with aggressive hands, somebody that could really, really knock unsuspecting offensive linemen backwards, and then he can use all of his 330-pound weight to do the rest of the movement. But somebody like Mykel Williams, he's got the wingspan of a 6'6", 6'7" player, but he comes in at 6'4", so he's light enough to bend the edge, but he's long enough to really distance himself from some of these linemen. So the 49ers feel that he could play at any position. And today, the pass rush really, really was strong for San Francisco. I think, this is saying something about practice today. The 49ers today managed to put together a lot of big plays on offense while the pass rush was very, very physically imposing to begin the padded session of training camp. And that's because of Nick Bosa. He might have had 3 sacks, and that's because of Mykel Williams. That's because of CJ West and all that those guys can bring to the table. But the fact that the offense was able to deliver the way that they did is a credit to the superstars on that side of the ball. It's a credit to Brock Purdy and his scrambling ability, his ability to buy time, his ability to perform under duress. And what the 49ers ultimately want, because a lot of people are worried, if somebody looked good and somebody had to look bad because they're playing against each other, that's irrelevant. What the 49ers ultimately want is a competitive practice where both sides are showing the ability to make plays. That's what's going to win you games in the NFL level. If your offense can make plays, your defense can make plays, that is winning football. And I think that the 49ers absolutely saw that today with exhibitions not only from their big name players at the top as far as veterans go offensively, long touchdown for Kittle, obviously Purdy making plays all over the field, Christian McCaffrey making great catches, but they also saw it from their young defenders. And they've got to replace 40% of the snaps on that side of the ball. Somebody just commented bully ball. Yes, if they're going to play bully ball on offense and on defense, it's going to be via the veterans on offense, and it's going to be via some of this young physical blood on the defensive side of the ball. And I think the 49ers saw a little bit of both today with Mykel Williams and CJ West anchoring that surprise effort on the defensive side of the ball. Let's take a quick look here on my way out. Game not all too far from starting. Most beautiful ballpark in all of baseball. You can see the Bay Bridge. You can see the skyline. And of course, you can see McCovey Cove with one boat in there. All right, guys, I got to roll. You'll see my face one more time before I sign off. I just have to clip my mic somewhere here. Good times from the ballpark. That's your 49ers update. We'll talk to you soon.